It's been over 35 years since we first met the students of Hillman, and the transformation is absolutely mind-blowing. These actors shaped our dreams, but their real-life journeys are even more dramatic than any script. From secret struggles to miraculous comebacks, witness the emotional evolution of the A Different World cast. Who has aged like fine wine and who has completely disappeared? Lisa Bonet as Denise Huxtable. Born on November 16, 1967 in San Francisco, California, the actress first captured audiences' hearts on The Cosby Show before headlining its hit spin-off, A Different World, in 1987. At the age of 19, Bonet's portrayal of the fashionable and free-spirited Denise Huxtable became a monumental cultural touchstone. Her character's journey to Hillman College, a fictional, historically black college and university HBCU, offered a groundbreaking primetime depiction of black college life and is widely credited with inspiring a massive surge in enrollment at real HBCUs across the country. Denise's eclectic bohemian style and relatable coming-of-age experiences cemented her as one of the era's most influential television figures. While Denise Huxtable was an endearing mainstream television darling, Lisa Bonet's real-life personality was far more rebellious, introspective, and fiercely independent. This sharp contrast led to significant professional struggles as she increasingly chafed against the squeaky-clean, rigid mold demanded by network television and show creator Bill Cosby. Eager to break free from being typecast as the wholesome daughter, she took on a provocative role in the controversial 1987 film Angel Heart, which sparked immense media scrutiny and reportedly caused a massive behind-the-scenes rift. Her time on A Different World was abruptly cut short after just one season due to her real-life pregnancy, and her ongoing friction with the show's conservative establishment ultimately led to her being fired from The Cosby Show in 1991 over creative differences, making it difficult for her to find mainstream work that aligned with her artistic and personal values. Throughout her later years, Bonet largely stepped away from the intense Hollywood spotlight to focus on her family and a deeply private, spiritually grounded lifestyle. She legally changed her name to Lilikoi Moon in 1995, though she continued to use Lisa Bonet professionally for occasional, carefully chosen roles in films like Enemy of the State and High Fidelity, as well as shows like Ray Donovan. She shares a daughter, actress Zoe Kravitz, with her first husband, musician Lenny Kravitz, and later welcomed two children with actor Jason Momoa, from whom her divorce was officially finalized in 2024. As of 2026, at the age of 58, she remains a revered, enigmatic pop culture icon, living a quiet life away from the public eye, while her profound legacy in fashion and television continues to be celebrated. Kadeem Hardison as Dwayne Wayne. Born on July 24, 1965 in Brooklyn, New York, Hardison first brought the flip-up glasses-wearing math whiz to life when A Different World premiered in 1987. At the age of 22, Hardison's portrayal of Dwayne Wayne became a massive cultural phenomenon, offering a vibrant depiction of black college life at a fictional, historically black college and university HBCU. For 6 seasons, his charm, comedic timing, and transformation from a goofy, girl-crazy freshman into a mature engineer inspired a generation of African-American youth to pursue higher education and STEM careers, making the character a permanent fixture in television history. Despite the character's famously persistent, extroverted, and sometimes overwhelmingly nerdy persona, Kadeem Hardison in real life was much more laid-back, mellow, and inherently cool. A contrast that initially made him reluctant to lean fully into the geeky traits of Dwayne Wayne. His career following the show was marked by the distinct struggle of escaping the immense shadow of his iconic alter ego. Typecasting proved to be a formidable challenge as the signature flip-up glasses and Dwayne's specific cadence were deeply etched into the public's mind, making it difficult for casting directors to envision him in drastically different roles. The end of A Different World also came with its own professional disappointments. During its 6th season, the show suffered from an unfavorable time slot change that drastically lowered ratings, leading NBC to place it on an abrupt hiatus before ultimately canceling it without the proper send-off its legendary impact deserved. Kadeem Hardison persevered through the typecasting to build a steady, enduring career in film and television over the following decades. He starred in movies like White Men Can't Jump and Vampire in Brooklyn, and found significant later success on television, notably playing Zendaya's father in the Disney Channel sitcom KC Undercover, as well as taking on recurring roles in series like Black Monday, Teenage Bounty Hunters, and That 90s Show. In his personal life, he was married to R&B singer Shantae Moore from 1997 to 2000. And the two share a daughter, Sophia. As of 2026, at the age of 60, he remains an active, respected presence in the entertainment industry, continuing to act and officially preparing to reprise his legendary role as Dwayne Wayne in an upcoming Netflix sequel series to A Different World. Jasmine Guy as Whitley Gilbert. Born on March 10, 1962 in Boston, Massachusetts, and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, the talented dancer and actress debuted her iconic role on the hit sitcom A Different World in 1987. At the age of 25, Guy's portrayal of the spoiled, arrogant, yet deeply endearing Southern belle became a defining cultural touchstone of Black excellence and HBCU life. For 6 seasons, her comedic timing, emotional vulnerability, and unforgettable drawl defined a character that transcended television stereotypes, earning her 4 consecutive NAACP Image Awards for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. Despite her character's pampered and hingsty nature, Jasmine Guy was a grounded, battle-tested artist and a disciplined professional dancer who trained at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Center in New York. This contrast was a significant part of her performance. She was nothing like the wealthy elitist she played, and she even had to invent Whitley's exaggerated Southern accent out of necessity, basing it on her 3rd-grade teacher. Following the abrupt end of the hit show in 1993, Guy faced the immense struggle of being typecast with Hollywood, often unable to see her beyond the iconic Whitley Gilbert persona. Her personal life was also marked by profound hardships. A difficult divorce in 2008 left her as a single mother facing staggering debt, which ultimately forced her to file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy in 2009 and battle multiple IRS tax liens for several years. During this time, she also had to publicly fight off persistent and false tabloid rumors claiming she was suffering from lupus. Jasmine Guy continued to persevere, working steadily across television, film, and theater while raising her daughter Imani in her hometown of Atlanta. She showcased her immense versatility by starring as Roxy Harvey in Dead Like Me and taking on the beloved recurring role of Sheila Grams-Bennett in The Vampire Diaries. She also ventured into directing, wrote a biography about Tupac Shakur's mother, Afeni Shakur, and appeared in recent hit series like Harlem and Grey's Anatomy. As of 2026, at the age of 64, she remains an active and thriving multifaceted artist, deeply respected for her resilience and her enduring contributions to both the entertainment industry and cultural history. Daryl M. Bell as Ron Johnson. Born on May 10, 1963 in Chicago, Illinois, the actor first brought his signature charm to the screen on the hit spin-off sitcom A Different World in 1987. At the age of 24, Bell's portrayal of Ron Johnson, the lovable scheme-hatching ladies' man and loyal best friend to Dwayne Wayne, became a cultural touchstone. His performance offered a hilarious and relatable primetime depiction of Black college life, capturing an entrepreneurial hustle that helped make the series a groundbreaking success and a highly influential celebration of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs. For 6 seasons, his comedic timing defined a character that remains a beloved television icon. Despite the character's reputation as a carefree academic slacker, Daryl M. Bell's real-life background was rooted in serious business and education. He attended Syracuse University and was the son of Travers J. Bell Jr., the founder of the first Black-owned firm on the New York Stock Exchange. This contrast was a notable part of his journey, as his grounded, privileged reality often clashed with his on-screen persona. Following the end of A Different World, Bell faced the significant professional hardship of being typecast, making it difficult for him to find roles that broke away from the mold of the comedic sidekick or hustler. This struggle was highlighted by his starring role in the short-lived sci-fi comedy Homeboys in Outer Space, which suffered from critical panning and was swiftly canceled. The difficulty of finding substantial acting work afterward was compounded by personal challenges. As he experienced severe financial hardship following the tragic loss of his father and the subsequent collapse of the multi-million-dollar estate he had inherited, Bell persevered through these industry and personal hurdles, continuing to take on smaller television roles while shifting his focus toward producing and entrepreneurial ventures. Over the decades, he has maintained a notably private but enduring personal life, most famously sharing a decades-long partnership with actress Tempest Bledsoe, whom he began dating in 1993. He has also remained a visible and active advocate for HBCUs and frequently participates in A Different World reunions, recently being attached to an upcoming sequel series. As of 2026, at the age of 62, he continues to navigate the ongoing legacy of his career and remains a beloved figure among fans of classic television, actively honoring the lasting cultural impact of his most famous role. Charnel Brown as Kimberly Reese. Born on October 30th, 1960, the East Hampton, New York native started her career on Broadway before joining the cast of the groundbreaking sitcom A Different World in its second season. At the age of 27, Brown's portrayal of the brilliant, hardworking, and grounded pre-med student, Kimberly Reese, became a cultural touchstone, offering a prime-time depiction of Black academic excellence that was both relatable and significant. For 5 seasons, her representation of a driven, unapologetically intelligent young woman navigating life at a historically Black college defined a character that remains a vital part of television history. Despite her character's fiercely analytical nature, unwavering confidence, and strictly mapped-out life, Charnel Brown described herself as a free-spirited theater kid at heart, who faced intense industry pressures behind the scenes. This contrast highlighted her private journey, as she found navigating the unpredictable Hollywood landscape to be far more challenging than Kimberly's rigid academic path. Her career was heavily marked by the struggle of being typecast, which made it difficult for her to break out of the serious smart girl mold and find consistent leading television roles after the show's long run. The conclusion of A Different World also brought a professional sting. The beloved series was unceremoniously canceled in 1993, leaving the cast to suddenly pivot their careers after changing the landscape of television. Charnel Brown continued to work in the entertainment industry by shifting her focus toward producing, writing, and educating, eventually founding the Charnel Brown Acting School in Houston, Texas, to mentor aspiring performers. She made guest appearances on classic sitcoms like Living Single, Martin, and Girlfriends, and more recently starred in the 2023 film The Reading. As of 2026, at the age of 65, she remains an active and passionate figure in the arts, eagerly expanding her creative footprint. Along with running her acting school, she continues to celebrate her Hillman legacy, including her involvement in the announced A Different World sequel series for Netflix, proving that her cultural impact endures decades later. Cree Summer as Freddie Brooks. Born on July 7, 1969 in Los Angeles, California, the Canadian-American actress first made her mark as a young voiceover artist before stepping in front of the camera. At the age of 19, Summer joined the cast of A Different World in its second season, bringing to life the fiercely passionate Winifred Freddie Brooks. Freddie quickly became a cultural touchstone, serving as the quintessential representation of the socially conscious bohemian activist on a historically Black college campus. For 5 seasons, her earthy charm, relentless idealism, and signature quirky style offered a vital depiction of Black alternative youth, making the character an enduring and highly influential figure in television history. Despite the character's famously flighty, naive, and overwhelmingly eccentric nature, Cree Summer was deeply grounded, heavily disciplined, and immensely musically driven in real life, standing as a stark contrast to her on-screen persona. This divergence became an obstacle as her career progressed. Following the abrupt end of A Different World in 1993, Summer struggled heavily with typecasting. Casting directors predominantly saw her as the quirky bohemian sidekick, which made it difficult for her to find diverse live-action work. Her subsequent attempts to pivot back to television in the mid-90s were met with frustration, as shows like Sweet Justice and Courthouse suffered swift cancellations shortly after premiering. She also endured a significant professional sting in her music career when she was dropped by her record label despite releasing a critically praised solo album produced by Lenny Kravitz. To circumvent these live-action roadblocks, Summer leaned into her phenomenal vocal talents, establishing herself as one of the most prolific and legendary voice actors in the animation industry, with over 700 credits including iconic roles in Rugrats, Tiny Toon Adventures, and Codename Kids Next Door. As of 2026, at the age of 56, she is thriving as both an enduring animation titan and a resurgent live-action star, having recently appeared in hit comedies like Abbott Elementary and signing on to reprise her iconic role as a Hillman law professor in the highly anticipated Netflix sequel to A Different World. In her personal life, she navigated a significant transition when her nearly decade-long marriage to filmmaker Angelo Pullen ended, embracing her journey as a dedicated single mother to her two daughters, Brave Little Wing and Hero Peregrine. Remaining fiercely creative and highly active in Hollywood, she continues to inspire audiences on screen and in the recording booth. Glynn Turman as Colonel Bradford Taylor. Born on January 31, 1947 in New York City, New York, the seasoned stage and screen actor made his debut at Hillman College during the second season of the hit spin-off. At the age of 41, Turman's portrayal of the strict, demanding math professor and retired Army colonel became a cultural touchstone, offering a primetime depiction of Black military excellence, discipline, and academic mentorship. For 5 seasons, his commanding yet caring presence alongside his memorable romance with Jaleesa Vinson defined a character that remains one of television's most iconic father figures and a vital part of the show's historic representation of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs. Despite the character's rigid by-the-book and militaristic nature, Glynn Turman was a deeply artistic soul, a laid-back creative and a real-life cowboy who preferred spending his off-screen time riding horses. This contrast was a fascinating part of his journey as the free-spirited theater veteran expertly molded himself into the formidable Dr. War. His career was also marked by the struggle of navigating an industry that offered limited opportunities for Black actors. Despite early critical acclaim on Broadway and in the 1975 cult classic Cooley High, he frequently battled typecasting in the blaxploitation genre and faced periods where substantive leading roles were difficult to secure. The cancellation of A Different World in 1993 brought a professional sting of its own as changing network priorities abruptly ended the show's run, prompting Turman to pivot heavily into directing 90s sitcoms like The Wayans Brothers to sustain his livelihood when on-camera work dried up. Glynn Turman continued to work in television and film for decades, ultimately experiencing a massive career resurgence that established him as a highly respected elder statesman of Hollywood. He delivered critically acclaimed performances in hit shows like The Wire, House of Lies, and Fargo, won an Emmy Award for his guest role on In Treatment, and shined in films such as Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Off-screen, he remained deeply dedicated to his equestrian lifestyle, co-founding a camp that teaches horsemanship to inner-city youth to honor the legacy of Black cowboys. As of 2026, at the age of 79, he is still an active, celebrated force in the entertainment industry, balancing his ongoing award-winning acting career with peaceful days tending to the horses on his Southern California ranch. Dawn Lewis as Jaleesa Vinson. Born on August 13, 1961 in Brooklyn, New York, the multi-talented actress and singer helped define the HBCU experience on the groundbreaking sitcom A Different World. At the age of 26, Lewis's portrayal of the pragmatic, fiercely independent older college student became a cultural touchstone, serving as the grounded voice of reason among her younger, more impulsive peers. Beyond her on-screen presence, Lewis's impact on the show's success was cemented behind the scenes. She notably co-wrote the series' iconic theme song with Bill Cosby and Stu Gardner. For 5 seasons, her relatable depiction of a woman restarting her life resonated deeply with audiences and established her as a pivotal figure in 80s and 90s television. Whereas Jaleesa was known for her steady, no-nonsense pragmatism and unshakable confidence that always kept her peers in check, Lewis's real-life resilience was hard-won through early trauma and a constant fight for stability. Growing up, she had to navigate a deeply challenging household where her father was a respected community pastor, but abusive behind closed doors, eventually forcing her mother to quietly flee with the children to save the family. Professionally, despite her massive breakout success, Lewis faced frustrating industry hurdles and abrupt career instability. Her time as Jaleesa abruptly ended when she left A Different World after its 5th season to star in the ABC sitcom Hangin' with Mr. Cooper. However, this highly anticipated career move brought a harsh professional sting. Producers unexpectedly decided to retool the show's entire concept, dismissing her after just 1 season and forcing her to reinvent her path in an industry known for casting aside talented actresses. Dawn and Lewis ultimately showcased her incredible versatility, pivoting toward a wildly successful and enduring career in voice acting, music, and stage production. Over the decades, she lent her voice to numerous iconic animated characters, including La Barbara Conrad on Futurama, Detective Terry Lee in Spider-Man the Animated Series, and Captain Carol Freeman on Star Trek Lower Decks. Beyond voice work, she originated the role of Zelma in the Tina Turner musical on Broadway, and continues to compose music while running her own production company. As of 2026, at the age of 64, Lewis remains a highly active and respected force in the entertainment industry, dedicating much of her time to philanthropy through her A New Day Foundation, which provides support and mentorship to underserved youth. Lou Myers as Mr. Vernon Gaines. Born on September 26, 1935 in Chesapeake, West Virginia, the talented stage actor and U.S. Air Force veteran first brought Mr. Vernon Gaines to life during the second season of A Different World. At the age of 53, Myers' portrayal of the feisty and persnickety proprietor of the Hillman College hangout, The Pit, became a cultural touchstone, offering a prime-time depiction of a working-class older black mentor whose gruff wisdom and fatherly discipline were both hilarious and significant. For 5 seasons, his impeccable comedic timing and memorable curmudgeonly demeanor defined a character that remains one of television's most iconic figures. Despite the character's famously grumpy and unpolished nature, Lou Myers was incredibly cultured. A classically trained theater actor and accomplished pianist, and described by those who knew him as a brilliant and artistic soul, the polar opposite of Mr. Gaines. This contrast was a significant part of his personal journey. He found playing the deliberately grouchy restaurant owner to be a stark departure from his intellectual background in sociology and his work as a global cabaret performer and African historian. His television career was also marked by the struggle of being typecast, which for a period made it difficult for him to find dynamic on-screen roles after the show's long run, frequently boxing him into grumpy old man archetypes instead of showcasing his broad theatrical range. The end of A Different World itself brought a professional sting. The sudden cancellation in 1993 abruptly dissolved a close-knit cast and forced Myers to navigate a changing television landscape to find steady work. Lou Myers continued to work in television, film, and theater for decades, though he remained a very private individual who focused heavily on his nonprofit work, Global Travels, and raising his son. He won an NAACP Image Award for his stage performance in August Wilson's King Hedley II, and took on guest spots in shows like NYPD Blue, ER, and Touched by an Angel, as well as appearing in films such as How Stella Got Her Groove Back. Myers passed away at the Charleston Area Medical Center in West Virginia on February 19, 2013. At the age of 77, following a heart-related emergency and complications from a lengthy battle with pneumonia. His death was followed by the amusing revelation that he had historically shaved years off his age for Hollywood records, but he was ultimately celebrated for his true legacy and laid to rest with a military burial honoring his service in the armed forces. Sinbad as Walter Oakes. Born David Adkins on November 10, 1956, in Benton Harbor, Michigan, the stand-up comedian and actor rose to prominence, bringing the character of Walter Oakes to life on the hit sitcom A Different World. At the age of 30, Sinbad stepped into the role of the energetic and caring track coach and dormitory director at Hillman College. His portrayal became a cultural touchstone, offering primetime television a deeply positive, responsible, and mentoring black male figure. Walter Oakes resonated with audiences for his humor and brotherly guidance to the students, blending Sinbad's natural comedic timing with a profound sense of heart that helped define the show's legacy. While Walter Oakes was a highly organized and authoritative mentor, Sinbad's real-life persona was that of a freewheeling, highly animated stand-up comedian who built his brand entirely on observational, clean comedy. Despite massive mainstream success in the 1990s with his own sitcom and hit family movies, Sinbad faced significant professional and personal struggles as the entertainment landscape shifted in the 2000s. He experienced periods where it was difficult to find consistent television and film work, leading to severe financial hardships that eclipsed his earlier commercial peaks. The comedian was forced to file for bankruptcy twice, first in 2009 and again in 2013, citing millions of dollars in debt, largely owed to the IRS, a stark contrast to the stable and guiding presence he embodied at Hillman College. In his later years, Sinbad continued to tour as a stand-up comic and appeared in various television guest roles, including a prominent part in the 2018 sitcom REL. But his life took a drastic turn in October 2020 when he suffered a severe ischemic stroke. The devastating medical emergency left him in a medically induced coma and required him to undergo months of intense therapy, bravely fighting to relearn how to walk and speak. As of 2026, at the age of 69, Sinbad continues his remarkable and arduous journey of recovery, supported closely by his loving family and a fiercely loyal fan base. He remains a beloved, iconic figure in the comedy world, occasionally sharing updates on his rehabilitation and standing as a profound testament to resilience and the enduring impact of his groundbreaking television career. Jada Pinkett Smith as Lena James. Born on September 18, 1971 in Baltimore, Maryland, the actress first brought Lena to life during the 5th season of A Different World in 1991. At the age of 19, Pinkett Smith's portrayal of the tough, street-smart engineering student became a cultural touchstone, offering a primetime depiction of a young, ambitious black woman that was both deeply grounded and significant. For 2 seasons, her dynamic energy and unapologetic authenticity defined a character that remains a beloved and impactful part of the iconic television series' legacy. Despite the character's hardened, combative, and heavily armored nature, Jada Pinkett Smith has described her true personality as possessing deep vulnerabilities and spiritual sensitivity, often standing in stark contrast to the emotionally guarded Lena. This contrast was a significant part of her personal journey. She found playing the defensive character to be a reflection of the survival mechanisms she herself eventually had to unlearn. Her early career was also marked by the struggle of being typecast as the sassy urban girl, which for a period made it difficult for her to find very dramatic leading work after the show's run. The end of A Different World itself brought a professional sting. The beloved series faced an abrupt cancellation after its 6th season due to shifting network priorities, a disheartening end to a formative chapter that briefly left her scrambling to establish a permanent foothold in Hollywood. Jada Pinkett Smith continued to work in television and film for decades, ultimately breaking out of her early mold to star in hit films like Set It Off, The Nutty Professor, The Matrix franchise, and Girls Trip. She married actor Will Smith in 1997, and together they raised a high-profile family including children Jaden and Willow. In her later career, she reinvented herself as a host and producer, launching the Emmy-winning talk show Red Table Talk, which became a cultural phenomenon for its highly publicized and candid discussions. In 2023, she released her memoir, Worthy, opening up about her battle with alopecia, her past mental health struggles, and the complex reality of her long-term separation from Will Smith. As of 2026, at the age of 54, she remains a deeply influential and multifaceted Hollywood powerhouse, navigating her ongoing career and personal life with unvarnished transparency. Ajay Sanders as Gina DeVoe. Born Angela Marie Wilson on April 24, 1967 in North Trenton, New Jersey, and raised in Dallas, Texas, Sanders initially moved to Los Angeles to pursue dance and stand-up comedy before catching her big television break. At the age of 24, Sanders' portrayal of the sassy, fiercely loyal, and outspoken Gina DeVoe on A Different World became a beloved fixture of the show. Originally intended as a one-time guest spot in 1991, her natural comedic timing so impressed director Debbie Allen that her role was rapidly expanded to a regular cast member. Gina became an integral part of the groundbreaking sitcom, offering a vibrant, authentic depiction of Black college life and successfully adding both sharp humor and poignant emotional depth to the series' later seasons. While Gina was known for her confident, sharp-tongued, and resilient demeanor, Sanders found the seductive nature of sudden Hollywood success deeply challenging to navigate in her real life. Following the abrupt cancellation of A Different World in 1993, she secured guest spots on popular 90s sitcoms like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin, and The Wayans Brothers. But she soon faced significant personal and professional hardships. Sanders has been open about her struggles with the pressures of fame, revealing that between 1996 and 1999, she battled severe substance abuse issues, relying heavily on alcohol and marijuana. This difficult period forced her to step away from the spotlight to seek help and prioritize her mental health, confronting the reality that her rapid rise to fame had become a dangerous detriment to her personal well-being. Sanders successfully achieved sobriety and gradually rebuilt her life and career, continuing to perform stand-up comedy and taking on various acting roles, including appearances in the 1998 holiday film Jack Frost and the drama The Players' Court. She was married in 2002 before later divorcing in 2016 and eventually ventured into fronting the talk show Multiple Personalities with Ajay Sanders. As of 2026, at the age of 59, she is alive, thriving, and experiencing a major career resurgence. She has officially returned to her most famous character, having recently wrapped production in Atlanta, to reprise her iconic role as Gina DeVoe in the highly anticipated Netflix sequel series To a Different World, bringing her remarkable journey full circle. Looking back at the halls of Hillman, it's clear that A Different World was more than just a sitcom. It was a movement that inspired generations to pursue their dreams. Seeing where these incredible actors are today reminds us of the enduring power of representation and growth. Which cast member's transformation surprised you the most? Share your favorite memory of the show in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgic journeys through television history.